As a sidebar, it's kind of fascinating that we haven't explored the relationship between the mafia and intelligence as like a cultural driver mechanism. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Because
significant because the involvement of intelligence, for example, in Hollywood, which is a
yeah,
major driver of culture, huge. And organized crime has like owned Hollywood for a very long time. What is now Universal Studios used to be MCA.
mhm,
MCA definitely totally. You'll see that very clearly in my book. 100% very deep in bed with organized crime. People like that used to run MCA, like Lou Wasserman, provably tied to organized crime, specifically Mo Dalitz and in that particular, you know, faction of the mob. And then you also have people like Roy Cohn, Trump's mentor, tied up
mhm.
with them and stuff. And he was also tied in with other cultural drivers like Studio 54 and stuff, and all sorts of thing. So you see, these people all over the place, and it's interesting, right? That Hollywood is sort of like glamorized the mafia in a sense, but sort of keep the intelligent stuff out. And friendly CIA agents are randomly inserted into movies like Black Panther. Hey, I'm the friendly white guy, the CIA. You may recognize me from Sherlock Holmes, but this time I'm a CIA agent, and you should totally like me and trust everything I say. I'm just here to help and not to overthrow your country. I mean, that's basically like
He was helping save Rwanda. Come on,
Wakanda.
Damn it.
Wakanda.
The different movie.
Yeah.
Different CIA.
Yeah.
Different.
That was Hotel Rwanda.
Yes.
Little different vibe.
Yes.
Bit of a different vibe.
Yes.
Nick Nolte played the white guy in there coming to save everybody with a blue
Nick
helmet.
Nolte did play the white
So,
guy in that movie.
There was a white savior there. So come on.
Lots of movies have that. Yeah. So, but this is something, it's these networks that basically dominate Hollywood too. So yeah, the cultural driver thing is significant. And I mentioned that in the book, but it's sort of like, not the main focus. But Ronald Reagan, for example, right, who started off as an actor, his whole political career created by MCA and Lou Wasserman. People used to call Ronald Reagan a literal slave to MCA, who would do whatever they asked him to do, including crushing the Department of Justice probe into MCA's ties to organized crime in the early 80s. Mm-hmm.
Ronald Reagan was the Zelensky before Zelensky.
Just remember that. He really was.
Remember that.
He really was.
He definitely was.
Just get out there and read the lines, Ronnie. Yeah. Okay.
Win one for the Gipper. They'll buy that shit. Go for it.
Good Mr. Gorbachev. Yeah, dude. Just get out there and say the damn line. That's all we need. They had a much easier time, I think, managing Reagan than they are Biden right now. I think I think that Biden's
because he had better movies.
Well, he's been too far gone for. I think Biden's been too far gone for too long.
Yes,
Reagan. It was late, like early enough in his Alzheimer's to where that last year and a half they could manage him a little bit better. And not have them go out there and just sniff kids and start spilling state secrets, and they didn't need an Easter bunny to go rally him up.
Exactly. He was more likable in his pajamas, Reagan, than when you see Biden, you're like, this idiot. When you saw Reagan, you're like, oh, look at him, he's eating.
Looking at Biden, it's like elder abuse. I mean, you almost feel bad, and then you remember his political career and what a sleaze he is, and then you don't feel bad. But when you're just looking at him as an old dude, it's like, why are they wheeling him out still? He tries to give a handshake to air and stuff. I mean, it's bad. Or he describes America in a single word. Yum, 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 yum.
That's a great clip.
Like there's some, but it's weekly. That's pretty bad.
We played a clip just yesterday where he was done talking, or Chuck Schumer was done talking. He turns around, he shakes Joe Biden's hand.
Yeah.
And because he shakes the hand of the guy next to Joe Biden, Joe immediately thinks that it's his turn again. And then he's super confused when Chuck goes and like finishes shaking everybody's hand. He's like, wait, but I was next in line.
I still like the first G8 when he wandered off into the little cafe and he had the white grandpa shoes that you get at the nursing home, so you don't they're very soft. They're like the zip sneakers, and he's wandering around, and Jill had to go, come this way. It's like he got lost and started wandering, looking for cookies and ice cream.
It was pretty clear in the campaign, though, that he was like on his last leg. I don't even know why. I mean, they basically went with him because Bernie Sanders, we all know how that was going, right? And then the South Carolina primary, I think Biden like sort of won that one, and they were like, ram him through. Stop Bernie.
I think
they had the DRE machines, the direct buttons in South Carolina. Very easy to flip an election in South Carolina.
We found out in like 2018 that the Clinton machine wanted Kamala Harris, and that's where her money was going.
Yeah.
And then
the Clinton donors backed Kamala. Yeah.
And then people met Kamala Harris and they went, no. No.
She's so unlikable. She has to hire child actors to sit and listen to her talk about space and tell them things like, you're the first generation that will ever see the moon. And then we all look up at the full moon in the sky today and we're like, I think Kamala's confused about space.
A little bit.
But anyway, child actors to like act like they were excited to listen to her. No one's excited to listen to Kamala.
That was such a creepy video.
The space one?
That was so creepy.
Yeah. I laugh because there's so many that you forget them, that when you get reminded of them, you get to chuckle all over again.
Well,
her explanation of the Ukraine war was really good too, where she's like, well, Russia's big and Ukraine is smaller. And what we have here is bigger country being mean to a smaller country. I am the vice president of the United States. And that is my conclusion. I get briefed by the military and the intelligence agencies every day, and that's what I can tell you about Ukraine.
They're all doing it though. What about Nancy Pelosi digging for China?
I guarantee you that the people briefing these people are like elbowing each other and chuckling in the office about 10 minutes later, like, all right, dude, this is what I told this bitch today. You're never gonna fucking believe it. I said that Ukraine is a tiny country, and because Russia's a big country, that's why we're helping him. No, she's got a press conference right now. Let's go watch.
Repeat the line.
That I thought that Kamala's staff was like putting ecstasy or something in her water before she went out to a press conference. Then I just realized that like she's a horrible, psychotic, satanic, freaking demon, and nobody wants to be around her at all.
She's just so unlikable, but they're both so unlikable, you know?
Yeah.
And it's confusing, right? Like the amount of people in 2020 that would go to like a rally for them, like 7 people, all socially distanced, right? And then, a Trump rally and be like, Biden won by the most votes in U.S. history.
81 million.
I don't know.
And to prove it, we'll put out a Time magazine article that talks about how a cabal of billionaires and business elites got together to fortify and
save democracy.
The election. Yeah, nothing important.
By changing laws illegally and handing it over to big tech. And that's the thing that's really just hurtful right now. I don't want to get into that